Hey, I'm Sug.
And I'm Dan.
And this is the Demystified Zone, your third favorite podcast about North Korea. Hey, what's up, Dan?
Hey.
Welcome back to another episode of the Demystified Zone.
Thank you.
I'm
glad to be here.
I wasn't inviting you. I was inviting everyone. But you're included in that. You are joining me in inviting everyone.
I join you in inviting everyone.
Let's try that again. Why don't you start us off and invite everyone into this conversation?
All right. Welcome everyone to the Demystified Zone.
What did your voice change? Like, what just happened there?
I just tried to add a little energy. It sounded really creepy.
Was that like your sexy voice? Is that what you were using to lull the listener in?
Very much so.
It was a nice voice though, Dan.
Thank you.
I like hearing that in the morning. It gives me comfort. So we were talking about inappropriate things in the pre-show today.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about them on air. And
No.
don't worry, our inappropriate things aren't as inappropriate as other inappropriate things.
Of course. It's very clean, inappropriate thing.
Clean, inappropriate.
Yeah.
But it's a good segue into today's conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And here's my opening question of, have you ever been banned?
Have I ever been banned?
And that can give the listener a little inkling as to what we were talking about before the show. Have you ever been banned for doing something or just being something you're not supposed to be?
So yeah, I was banned, a lifetime ban from Chase Bank.
The bank,
JP Morgan Chase.
What did you do? Wait, for real?
For real.
Lifetime.
So for one reason or another, okay, back in the day when we were only in China, very early on, we would send money out there.
Yeah.
Right? So I would do it under my account, wire money. I would get money from Crossing Borders account and wired under my name because we didn't want this wire to have the name Crossing Borders on it. Right?
Got it.
So
this is before the 501c3 was set up, I'm assuming.
No, it was after actually. So anyway, so I was doing this for a while. Meanwhile, bank consolidation happened where Chase bought out everything. We were with like Washington Mutual and we ended up at Chase because Chase bought everyone. So Chase saw that we took money out of CB's account and I was wiring it out. You know, this is like a nonprofit account. I was doing it, sending the money to myself. And
laundering.
Yeah, it looks like laundering, right?
Yes.
And so for the past, I don't know, 10 plus years, 12 plus years.
Wait. They didn't even like give you an opportunity to explain yourself?
No.
They were just like...
They said, get out or we're going to freeze your funds in like 5 days. So you have to take your money out. No explanation given. But everyone associated with Crossing Borders got kicked out.
This explains a lot for me.
Yeah.
Particularly around those I know. That
yeah, you know
that I can no longer chase pay.
I know, man.
It's
so and Chase is everywhere. And like they own like credit cards, right? I like to fly United, and they have the United credit. I can't participate in nothing.
You can't even like be like, hey, I think there was a misunderstanding. Let me have a conversation.
I've talked to my friends who are like higher up at Chase, and they're always like, I could get you in. They read the comments. They're like, hey man, it's not going to happen. Don't even ask.
Really?
Yeah. Everyone has come back and said, sorry. There's nothing we can do.
So the lesson is your friends aren't really that high up.
I'm not friends with Jamie Dimon, the CEO.
Yeah, we need to talk to JD of JP Morgan.
Yeah.
If you're listening, JD.
Yeah, please.
Please. Come on. It was a mistake. We do good things here.
We do good things. It wasn't even a mistake.
It was a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. Yes, please. Come on. Let me quick pay Dan. I owe him for a lot of meals. And it's so inconvenient to go through Venmo or whatever cash I have to carry around.
It's terrible.
I owe him for some Powerball tickets. Come on. Please. Let me quick pay him. That's a big ban.
It's a big ban.
That's a huge deal.
It's a huge deal.
I thought you were going to be like, I got banned from 7-Eleven for stealing candy or something.
No, I never got caught.
Ooh, sneaky. That's crazy. Lifetime
ban.
So even your whole family? I'm assuming your family, like Betty's part of that ban?
Betty is part of that ban because we joined account at that time. I should try through my kids.
You should open up a nice Sapphire Reserve card for Stella with a huge limit on there to get those ultimate rewards.
Yeah. I can't do
That's
any
a
of
big
that.
one, man. That stinks.
It's like most of the banking industry in America.
That stinks.
Yeah.
But so what year did this happen? How long ago was that?
I think in 2011.
2011. Okay,
there.
a little over 10 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So one time I just on a whim applied for one of their credit cards.
Yeah.
And it went through.
Uh-huh.
It was like a hotel one. And then I was like, oh, let me try checking. I had a Chase checking account for like a month. And then they're like, hey, wait a minute. Get out of here.
They caught up to you?
They shut me down.
Wait, what? They just like threw your money back in your face and was like...
They just, they messaged me. They're like, we're closing your account again. I was like, oh.
That's so... Like, you can't even talk to somebody? That's so weird.
I've talked to many people.
Chase. I'm not going to be one of those people that sets you up and be like, hey, let me do it, Dan.
Yeah.
I got nobody in Chase. But I'm a loyal Chase customer, so I actually want to distance myself from you. I'm going to just go the opposite route and be like, good luck with that. I don't want you to mess what I've got going on.
I know, man.
Okay.
It's terrible.
In fact, we're just going to move on now.
Yeah.
And hopefully, JD, don't listen to this conversation. I wasn't here. That was all Jay. He set this up. Jay, you Chase guy?
I have Chase, yeah.
Okay, we need to run for it, Jay.
I know.
we need to distance ourselves from this man next to us.
I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah. Have you been banned, Jay? What have you been banned from?
I think the only thing that I was banned from, I'm banned from the Hard Rock Hotel San Diego.
Wait, what? Which one? Wait, I'm sorry, I missed it. Hard Rock
Hotel San Diego.
San Diego. That specific Hard Rock Hotel.
Specifically, yes.
What
That's
happened?
the only one. So we, when I was in the military, we had an annual birthday party, and it's a big event. It's a huge thing. It's kind of like prom, but alcohol is like.
San Diego's a big like Marines base too, or
Yeah.
Navy SEAL base. What's out there?
Navy, Marines, Air Force.
Got it.
I think the Army's out there too. It's a huge hub.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
huge
yeah.
hub.
For UFOs too, apparently.
Yeah,
That too.
Yeah. So San Diego opened a Hard Rock, and we were actually their first event. The Marine Corps Ball was their first
You
event.
got kicked out on the first day?
Well, they were so excited. They were like, "Oh my goodness!" Like the military birthday, like big deal, like 600 people or something. I think we caused like $40,000 in damages.
Oh my god!
Okay,
in one night.
Okay,
Our
we're talking
unit.
a lot of we language. I want to know what you did. What did you smash?
I did nothing. I just had a good time.
Come on. What did you light on fire?
Nothing.
You're a
I
fireman.
did nothing. I did zero. I just had a good time in their room.
So you got in part like a class action.
So they blanket banned the entire unit, and my name was on there, so I was included on there.
Have you tried to go
Really?
back in since?
I've tried to go to other Hard Rock hotels, and those are okay. So I've been,
But
to
not
like,
the San Diego one.
never San Diego. No,
Let's try it. Let's see.
I'll try. Yeah, we'll see.
That would be. But you didn't do anything.
I did nothing.
So what happened?
Just like room damages,
Oh,
people
I see.
damaging rooms. I heard bottles were being thrown out the windows.
Oh,
I
wow.
heard like the actual event venue, the location that was trashed, and just general like havoc.
Well, with that segue, let's go right into today.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about something that's very prevalent right now. We've been hearing. Heard this since I don't know how. It's been forever, and to be honest, I never really understood it. And that would be sanctions.
Yeah.
And this is obviously a very prolific political strategy that is used a lot by the U.S. and in relation to North Korea a lot as well. And I just want to dive into sanctions because I don't really understand them, to be honest. I'm gonna be honest here. I'm a little ignorant in terms of the politics of sanctions.
Yeah.
I just know that's why I started with this ban question. That's all I understand about. They're a ban. Am I right about at least about that much, Dan? They're just a ban.
Like ban from trading. Yeah.
Ban. This is like the big X.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't no.
Yeah, it's like almost as big as a chase ban, but not quite.
This is okay. This is how basic I had to start. I just Googled sanction, the definition of sanction.
Okay.
The
What
noun
is that?
version is a threatened penalty for disobeying a law or rule.
Okay.
That's a sanction. And then you can obviously use it as a verb to sanction a person, an entity, or even a nation as a whole.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then in relation to North Korea, because we read a lot of articles and a lot of them have this word in there, sanction. Here's a nutshell of what to know about North Korea and sanctions. Since 2006, the UN Security Council has passed nearly a dozen resolutions sanctioning North Korea for developing nuclear weapons and related activities. The US and other countries have also imposed unilateral sanctions. The sanctions ban the trade of weapons, military equipment, and freeze the assets of people or entities involved in or around the nuclear program, restrict scientific cooperation, among other actions. Sanctions have not pressured North Korea, however, to denuclearize. And critics argue that the sanctions need stronger enforcement.
Yeah.
So we know that's been happening. It says since 2006. Based on what I've read, I feel like it goes back further, but definitely the major stuff. It's more of a modern thing from what I understand, like sanctions. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I'm not an expert in sanctions, but I would imagine that through the 80s and 90s even, we weren't trading with North Korea or Russia because they were the communist bloc, right?
Yeah.
So they were mostly trading with each other. So, I mean, North Korea has been cut off from the capitalist system since its inception.
When was that around? When was the first sanctions that you remember hearing about that was like major?
Like 2000 and during George W. Bush era, basically.
Got it. And what was that for?
Their nuclear program.
Just strictly that, though?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because if you wiki this, Jay, can you pull up that wiki, the third link there?
Yeah. And
again, we'll always put this in the notes so you guys can check this out for yourself. So this is a Wikipedia article about international sanctions from the UN and other nations.
Yeah.
So look at that list on the side there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 nations that have imposed sanctions on North Korea through the years. What's interesting is 2 of those nations on there. You guess which 2 I'm talking about?
The U.S. and South Korea?
No, I'm sorry. They're friends. China and Russia are on there. So this is what was surprising to me. Can you scroll up a little bit, Jay?
Is it because of their involvement in the UN?
Okay, stop on the Russia. Yeah, so basically Putin put a sanction in 2017 on North Korea.
Interesting.
They kind of joined this unilateral UN Security Council resolution, yes, which was sanctioning
their rare earth materials.
Yes. And it was basically on everything, right? Bans on trade, economic, banking, financial, scientific, technical cooperation. And I think it was more like Russia and Putin signed on with this decree. Yeah. But it was against North Korea, which is interesting, especially today. And if you go up further, there's obviously China ones as well. Again, 2017, China bans all imports of coal from North Korea for the rest of the year.
2017 was a rocky year for North Korea.
Well, it seems like a lifetime ago now.
It does.
What was happening in 2017?
They were firing missiles.
6 years ago.
Okay. So I think in 2022 they fired the most number of missiles than ever before. But for some reason in 2017 it felt more threatening. So and China via Trump. Okay, so Trump had the maximum pressure campaign on North Korea. So it really was a pressure campaign to get China to enforce the sanctions imposed on North Korea.
Hmm.
And he did it for a little bit at least.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this says, this is a list, but it's like, I'm going to just, it was for 1 year. For the China one, right?
That was the official one, but, Trump was trying to get them to just enforce the ones that were generally on North Korea from the UN.
So that's China, that's Russia, that's friends of North Korea, so friends, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Obviously, South Korea, Japan, and the U.S., who are their sworn enemies, North Korea's sworn enemies, have done a lot more. So this is a list of the U.S. sanctions,
and the EU did it
1950.
Too.
The EU obviously too, because they're part of the UN, right? That are Look at all these different. This is a laundry list, y'all. If you just check this out, there's a lot, including the 2017 Trump executive order right there as well.
Yeah.
We have been sanctioning North Korea essentially since the war, it sounds like.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, we haven't been trading with them.
So let's go a little deeper into like what it is that what are we banning them from? Trade. But what else is there? I mean, trade is a lot of things, right? Goods, services. Obviously, we don't ship anything over there. We don't let them ship with our allies.
Yeah, I mean, we don't buy things from them, right?
Yes.
Like their coal and rare earth materials, which is their biggest asset. We don't buy.
Yeah.
And then we prevent them from getting petrol, which is a huge one, right? Then they can't get fuel to, run their equipment to mine or to farm, right, at a mass scale.
This is just a massive cutoff, essentially.
Like my Chase ban. Almost as bad.
Not nearly, but almost.
Yeah, it is.
It is a ban. Yeah. I wonder if North Korea's tried to reapply like you have. If they ever try to,
sneak it in there,
buy some good old U.S. corn. And they're like, wait a second. No. Give me that corn back. Well, okay, this might seem ridiculous, but to me, I always thought like sanctions were like blockades. And I realized I made that wrong association. Like in my mind, whenever I heard sanctions, I was thinking, oh, our Navy is like right outside their country, blocking ships from coming in.
Yeah.
Or like, our planes or helicopters are like not letting them land in other country. Things like that, like physical blockades. But this is way, not passive, but this is way more on paper and than us being like physically blocking them from doing stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Or has that happened too?
Well, I think we've frozen their assets.
Okay,
because that is one thing that the U.S. has huge sway over in all of the world, right? Basically, the banking system is centralized in New York City, and in extreme circumstances, the U.S. has frozen assets of another country.
Like the assets they have in New York City.
Yeah.
In the Chase Bank.
In Chase Bank,
Bank. So you can relate completely. You have had your assets frozen. Or threatened to be frozen. That was more of like they gave you some time to jump off the boat. They had you walk the plank.
I'm telling you, I could relate.
Well, there's more here. It looks like so obviously just to go through the different forms and looks of a sanction, there's a tourism sanction, like a travel ban.
Yeah.
That literally is a ban. For U.S. citizens to go to North Korea. And that started, I think, in 2017.
2017 as well. And it continues to this day.
Yep. And we've talked about that, about like just tourism being not active or even existent from the U.S. point of view. Obviously, from other countries.
But,
it can still happen.
Now you need special permission. That's all. You can still go. People who serve in various enterprises in North Korea still can get a visa there. Or permission to go there. Yeah.
Jay, let's check out these articles. So there's a few articles released from the Treasury Department about recent sanctions. All right, so let's see, what is this one? Treasury targets individuals and entity supporting the Democrat DPRKs. weapons of mass destruction program. Can you scroll down a little bit? I think, this is an example of two people and a company being sanctioned. What are they being sanctioned for there? Who can read quickly?
Development of WMDs. So they were somehow trafficking in the materials. Yeah.
Yeah. Scroll down a little bit,
John Jin Yong.
John Jin Yong and Sergei Mikhailovich Kozlov.
Yep. Documents were from family
construction workers. Okay.
Okay.
They were coordinating construction workers and interesting. Shipbuilding industry as well. Wow.
That's transactions that have material contributed to the proliferation.
That's a big deal. That's your chase ban right there. Like that's the same scale if a government is coming in and blocking your company.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all jokes aside, it must be incredibly inconvenient to conduct any sort of commerce as a country if the U.S. is against it.
Yeah.
Right? Could you imagine? I mean, it's a little bit of an inconvenience for me and Chase. Like, I have a bad feeling whenever I drive by a Chase ATM.
Well, it's like...
but...
They're everywhere. I'm sorry.
They're everywhere.
Well, here, to make a more apt comparison, it's like if every bank banned you in America.
Exactly.
Like Bank of America, Chase, Wells.
Right.
Even your local... What is it? West Dundee First National Bank, whatever one that you're going to. Like everyone had a wanted sign or do not service this man sign.
And Chase buys everyone up, right?
Yeah.
So like, I wonder, like, is my bank next? And what's my next move after that?
Are you like saving up gold bars? Are you like taking gold bars and burying them in your backyard?
Like North Korea,
that's what you got,
counterfeiting and
crypto heists. You're performing crypto heists right now.
No, honestly, like this is why, right? Like if the U.S. has their tentacles on you, then you have to. If you want to continue to buy, sell, and trade for the rest of the world, you got to like do it underhandedly. And through crypto.
Well, I don't know if you have to do it underhanded, but
well, I mean,
it's like you made me rob you. You did it. No, I get it. It makes your life very difficult.
It does.
And it ties your hands and what you can do or not do. I'm looking at this other Treasury Department sanction. This is from August, actually. And most of these recent ones are tied to arms deals between North Korea and Russia, which is interesting because obviously we have sanctions on Russia right now too. Mm-hmm. So it's like our sanctions are doubling up here.
Yeah.
Where, two countries who we both have political disagreements with are falling now under the same umbrella. And if they're helping one another, we're trying to like block that off as well.
Yeah.
Which I mean, sanctions, I wonder like, this is the Treasury Department. Like, how complex does this get when you're like, how many banks are getting involved here in the blockading or like the sanctioning, rather, I should stop saying blockades. That's the wrong definition of a country, individuals, etc. They must be looking at so many people and organizations.
And I mean, these banks have huge compliance departments, right?
Yeah.
It is their job to fish all of the entanglements up, from their books, and they have to do it. So,
I mean, if they can keep Dan Chung out and remember when he tries to come back in 10 years later for a credit card.
Yeah, like my $200 account.
I hope they are. It sounds like they're pretty sophisticated in managing all these different accounts, which is really mind-boggling.
Crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And the volume of dollars or money that flow through the U.S. economy to single out certain transactions, it must be incredibly difficult, but they have to do it.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. But okay, so to take a step back, right? If we could take a step back, has it worked? Like North Korea still, North Korea still basically has nukes, right? Like we're like 95% there, right? They have nuclear weapons. They maybe will be able to fit it onto a ICBM one of these days. But they're pretty much there, right?
I think to answer your question, time has shown that it has not worked. We have not.
But have we slowed them down?
Sure. But how much? You know what I mean? Like, what are we satisfied with? What was the goal here?
Right.
Was to slow them down by a decade?
We slowed them down. Well,
I don't think we even slowed them down that much. I would argue.
I don't know. Like, when Oppenheimer, they figured it out in 2 weeks,
watch that yet,
right? So yeah, I haven't watched it either. But the Manhattan Project, they figured it out in like a couple of years, and they. Anyway,
but that's so yeah, okay. I would say if they had the resources, if they have open access to all the resources, they can come to the U.S. and study and figure out, or go to wherever they want, right? And study, or go to Iran, whoever has nukes as well, and freely study and figure things out. Sure, but I think the slowness was not just because of the sanctions. If anything, it's more the political agenda of North Korea and it not being necessarily an open country to even other supposedly allied nations.
Right.
Even with Russia now, it's been slow going to open the doors and be back in this conversation. Now, when you get into nuclear arms, that's even worse, right? Like other countries may not want to help you even if they have a reason to.
Right. That's true.
And to answer your question another way, and I don't know, again, if they've been effective or not. I'm just reading based on what I've read up online. It's the same thing with anything else. Some people say yes, they are. Some people say no, it hasn't been effective. It depends on who you ask, right? So one side says that the obvious side is like, no, it hasn't. 20 years ago today, North Korea did not have nukes. Now they do. So what have we stopped?
Yeah.
Right? They didn't have fake drone aircraft that we looked at, but now they do. Or maybe we think they do at least. Right? At least they have something that looks like one.
Yeah, give them time, right? Give any country time.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out.
If people don't have time and money towards something,
right,
there's nothing to stop them.
So we really just slowed them down by maybe a decade and a half.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of reports nowadays say that Korea does have nukes and they have the capability of launching things. That's why they're doing all these tests. All speculation. Right. But North Korea itself kind of patted itself on the back this year about its missile program, right? So
now that they have nukes, it looks like we're going to continue to sanction them.
And that's my question.
Yeah.
When do we try something else? And is there something else other than
sanctions?
Well, that's not direct conflict, right?
Yeah.
Doing my idea, the blockades, which I don't even know if that'd be effective, right? Do we form like a hands circle around
Care
North Korea?
Bear stare?
And we're holding hands so it looks like we're peaceful, but we're like, don't come out. Don't do that.
Yeah, it's now that we're past that horizon, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen next. It's very interesting to think about.
So here's a perspective on the other side. Mm-hmm. This is Sung Yoon Lee, professor in Korean studies at the Fletcher School. And another writer, Joshua Stanton, who advocate continued tightening of sanctions targeting Pyongyang's systemic vulnerabilities, such as blocking the regime's offshore currency, through financial sanctions, including secondary sanctions against its foreign enablers, which would be Russia, all these other countries that are helping it. And they say this would significantly diminish, if not altogether deny, Kim the means to pay his military and forces. So it's kind of like, and the elites that, help him run. So it's like this whole idea of like cutting off the gold supply so that the people, the workers basically revolt or get angry enough to stop. Yeah. Which I get that strategy. That would make sense. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. You think that's a fair play?
I don't know. I mean, there's so many ways that money could flow into the country, right? Crypto heist, hacking, this and that. They sell meth, right? And it's now getting into South Korea, meth. I don't know if you could fully do that, right? They're trying to essentially starve them out.
Yeah.
Like in Pulgasari, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Right? They're trying to surround them and make them starve so that they give up. Can you do that to a nation? I don't know.
Or it just takes a long time.
And essentially that's what happened in the 90s, and they still went forward with their plans, right? Like they already starved. What more can you do to them?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's crazy.
I guess I see that what you're saying is we cut off money, and if they're a regime that doesn't really care about its people, and they've said so outright, literally, if like 30% of our people die, it will be fine.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. A country would say that. But is that even right, morally right for us to do that? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, it's crazy. It is crazy. Like, what do we do here? What is the solution?
Yeah. And I feel like there's so many problems in this world now that it's hard for people to just think about this situation and say, is this moral, right? Is this moral for us to continue to choke resources from the people of North Korea? But then the other side, right, to say, okay, let's just trade with them then. I don't know. I don't know if that's the answer either. I wouldn't want to trade with them and enable them to get rich, and who knows what they'd do with that money. It's a very, very precarious situation.
Here's the solution. I got it. Okay, listen to this, guys. Okay. This is what we do. We lift the sanction on pop culture.
Okay.
We say, hey, we'll trade with you. All right, we'll trade with you. We'll give you a great deal on anything that's related to pop culture or anything, music, movies.
Yeah.
All our entertainment. Have at it. Here's an archive of Spotify and access to...
Everyone gets a free Spotify.
Everyone gets a free Netflix account. Whatever your Disney. Yeah. Here's Disney stuff. We know you guys, some of your guys like Disney stuff. Here
NBA
you go.
League Pass.
all of it. NFL. Yeah. All of it. You guys can have everything. And for free. It'll be for free.
Yeah.
When we say, that's it. That's our gift. This is our peace offering here. Like, you have it all. The K-dramas, that's even more popular. You know what I mean? Like, have it. There you go.
Some people might go to North Korea for all those free platforms.
Exactly. Then tourism will, But this is why I think it's strategic. We're going to give it to them for free. It's not going to create any money for them. You know what I mean? That way, like, it's just a gift. It's a great gift.
Yeah, it's just
who doesn't want to watch Game of Thrones over there, or maybe not that one.
It is sort of a Trojan horse though, right? Information, because that sits with the people.
Exactly.
And then they start thinking.
Then they see that we're not all devils and child eating demons. We have Aladdin and what are some other Beauty and the Beast? I'm just naming some favorites here, guys. What movie are we sending over first, guys? What's the one movie, the first trade lift? We're like, hey, here you go, free rights to watch this movie, free as long as you want, entire country. What are we sending them?
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Such a great movie.
Jay, what are you sending them?
The Titanic.
Oh,
Titanic. Maybe they'll like that. That's a great one, Jay. It's got love. It's got fun, but that also makes Americans look stupid and bad because we sank our own ship. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What would I send? I'll probably send a really bad movie because I don't want their expectation to be really high. What's a bad movie I really didn't like?
Snakes on a Plane.
Avatar 2. We'll send them the sequel, not the first one. Avatar 2.
Or Rocky 5.
Rocky.
Tommy Gun.
A Tommy Gun where he suplexes them at the end. I love that. I don't want to send. I don't know if I'd send them Avatar either. I don't want any war movies over there. I just want there to be like this fun-loving. I'd send them My Neighbor Totoro. That's so sweet, but it's Japanese. They may not like that either. What's a good Disney movie? Willow. No, there's war in Willow. I love Willow. I'm going back to, I'm going to go back to Aladdin.
Yeah.
Or one of those.
Yeah, Aladdin's safe, I think.
Lion King. They've already ripped all those off, remember? We did an episode on those.
Yeah, we did.
We just send them the original, the OG, and be like, hey, this is what you guys missed out on. Or The Simpsons. How about The Simpsons? TV shows might be better. There's more to give.
There's a lot to give with The Simpsons, with like 25 years of episodes.
And maybe they will like understand our political humor and it'll create a bridge. They'll have empathy and understanding.
I wonder what if they were to create their own political humor. Oh boy, I bet it'd be hilarious.
I would sign up for that streaming service immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. Hey listeners, if you'd like to make a real impact in the lives of North Korean refugees, please consider donating. Go to crossingbordersnk.org and click on the donate button in the upper right. It's so easy, your aging appa can do it by himself without FaceTiming you first thing in the morning for help with his iPhone.